Welcome to the Natural Health Podcast, where we bring awareness of sustainable health in the business hustle space. The Natural Health Podcast is perfect for the high-performing, business-minded individuals who want to work with their biochemistry to achieve optimal health. It's Friday, which means it's time for friends sharing facts about health, business, and overall success. In today's episode, we talk to Tamim Rabaa, who will talk about the supplement world, how you can find safe and good quality supplements without the confusion. Tamim is the founder of Honcho's Supplements, who is passionate about business, self-development, and everything supplements. Tamim has a master's of biomedical chemical engineering, which led him to work in the Australian pharmaceutical industry. With all of his knowledge about the body and pharmaceuticals, he founded Honcho Supplements, and he is on a mission to educate and provide the best quality supplements to you. And when he's not researching this and no supplements, he's reading self-development books and eating food, which he absolutely loves. Welcome to the Natural Health Podcast, Tamim.
Thanks, Mihaela, for bringing me on. I really appreciate it. Super keen to educate your audience about subs, which is my passion, and have a great conversation with you. It's been a long time, so super keen. Thanks for bringing me on.
That's great. When you sent me the thing and you said you absolutely love food, what is your favorite food?
Just pretty much love everything. I shouldn't be bringing this up on the health podcast, but obviously some fast foods I try not to. But I love my burgers, I love my pizzas, but obviously I try not to. But pretty much love everything: chicken, vegetables, everything, pretty much.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You're same as me. Absolutely love food. Food just brings people together. It's made to bring people together and just enjoy it 100%. So look,
that's right.
let's get started. So Tamim, what have been the key turning points in your journey to get you where you are now? I mean, founding your own company is a huge thing. So what have been the key turning points for you?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, there's been a lot, Mihaela. So I think my main turning point, I think there's essentially two. Do we have enough time to talk about two of them? Or?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, okay. So I'll talk mostly about, firstly, obviously a personal thing that happened in my life, a key turning point, which is not trying to bring everyone down, but obviously things happen in your life which obviously dictate where you go in your life. So obviously my dad, he actually got sick with, I think, motor neuron disease, where it kind of attacks his nervous system and muscles. So I was just pretty much cruising through life as a young kid, and just not really caring about success or that kind of stuff. My dad had a pretty successful business, so when he did get sick, it was a kind of a big slap in the face to me, and I knew at that point I needed to get my stuff together, and then I just studied more. I worked on myself more because I knew there was no turning back. It's either I make it or I don't make it. So essentially, that was my first driving factor. So it's not the most positive in terms of my family, but it did drive me towards a positive journey approach, which has brought me here. So kind of blessed for what's happened in my life. That's the first thing, Mihaela. And I think second of all, obviously, growing up as a chemical engineer, studying in university, I did enjoy it. It was quite hard, but I did notice one thing throughout my whole 5-year degree. I picked up on one thing. The one thing was that I worked better by myself on my own types of projects, kind of using my own creativity, getting resources and applying that to a problem. So that was actually my thesis study. So that gave me the creativity to do my own thing. So, and obviously I did pretty bad in like subjects where I would have to study and regurgitate information. So after the 5 years, Mihaela, I'm like to myself, wow, so I'm bad at doing this and I'm good at, pretty much. And I'm good at doing this. So I think that started my entrepreneurial journey, because I got that kind of seed in my brain that I work better by myself. I get better marks if I'm working on a project myself compared to something else. So definitely those are two of my key turning points in my life that have brought me to this situation.
Yeah, wow. When health affects our loved ones in a negative
Yeah,
way, it is a huge turning point for a lot of people involved, close or far. I think, and it's beautiful in a sense that something so significantly bad that happened in your life, you turned it into a positive,
yeah,
because I
yeah,
think that mindset, having that mindset, is just extraordinary, and for you to do that at a young age is just absolutely amazing. Um,
yeah. Thanks, man.
yeah.
Yeah, I think there's two people in this world. I think a lot of things happen in someone's family, and I think there's two people. There's a person that um, convinces themselves that this is to crush them, like they can't do anything because they hold on to it and they can't do anything. But there's other people that use it to motivate themselves, to propel themselves forward. So I'm blessed that I was one of those people.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. Thanks for sharing that story with us, because
No
sometimes it's
problem.
hard to be raw and vulnerable, especially
Yeah,
in front of people. So thanks for sharing that. And in
no
regards
problem.
to studying the 5-year degree, wow. So what got you into wanting to study chemical and biomedical engineering?
Yeah, that's a good question, Mihaela. So since I could remember, I've always been intrigued with chemistry and chemicals. Like even when I was young, I remember I used to buy potion sets, like Harry Potter potion sets, and mix like the cinnamon with this and that, and just like have fun with the end result. Like I just love, and that's why I think essentially my passion for food came up as well, because I like to, because essentially food is a chemical reaction. You're mixing one thing with another thing to get a certain result. Like they say, cooking an egg is a chemical reaction. So anything got to do with mixing raw ingredients and coming out with a finished product, I loved it. So yeah, that was pretty much throughout my whole high school career. I did very well in chemistry, and I was actually one of the kids to bring education home. So what I'll do is I don't condone this. It's not quite safe, but I used to I used to take apart batteries because we were studying batteries in chemistry. So yeah, I like to learn hands-on. So yeah, definitely I was deconstructing the batteries and just learning about the mechanisms and bringing it to class as well. So yeah, that pretty much continued on, and I'm in year 12, I had to make a decision, what I'm good at, what I'm passionate about, and yeah, that definitely led me to chemical engineering. And biomedical, it's essentially the same thing. It's just looking at a biological system in terms of the chemical reactions and stuff. So I definitely gravitated towards that.
Beautiful. That sounds like it was just built up for you. It was just made for you, starting from here to here to here, and then moving into, creating your own supplement line, which is absolutely
Yeah,
amazing. How long have you had the
yeah, thank
supplement
you.
line for now?
So yeah, the new one that you've probably been exposed to, Mihaela, is only about 7 months now, but it's doing very well. I'm blessed to be in this position where I can help so many people and obviously share high quality products. It's actually in a few stores right now in Sydney and in New Zealand, and obviously a lot of people have been enjoying it as well. But yeah, the actual company Honcho Supplements was founded maybe 2.5 years ago. I actually launched a first product, but it failed. I didn't have the necessary experience and all that kind of stuff. So I learned from that experience, and now I can bring you guys a much high quality, refined range, which is what you see today.
Wow. I think
Yeah.
I think failure is beautiful in a way, isn't it? And it's got you to where you are now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Failure is part of the journey, Mihaela. As you probably know, it's just yeah, you have to fail to succeed. It's part of the formula. You have to learn from your mistakes, what you're bad at, and keep refining until you get to that thing that you're very well versed in and you can offer to the world. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, beautiful. We're talking about failure and success. So here on the podcast, we talk a lot about success, because that's what I'm all about. And we'll talk
Yes.
about a lot how it means different things to different people. So before we go any deeper and talk about supplements and how the audience will be able to get the best supplements they can with the information that we provide them with today,
Mm.
I wanted to find out, what does success look like for you and how to get there?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. Yeah, I love what you do, Mihaela. Teach people about success. That's one of my passions. Since I was a young kid, I've always wanted to succeed and kind of do that kind of stuff. But yeah, definitely, what success means to me. Well, obviously, as I said, Mihaela, starting off with my dad. Obviously, he was the provider of the family. So definitely, I would love to be in a situation where I could give back and help everyone else in my family, and that's suffered from that. That's kind of the financial part of it. Obviously, part of the success journey. But Also, there's a lot more into it, Mihaela, which is why I started this journey. Obviously, living a very fulfilling life. So getting to that point where you're doing what you want to do in life, you're chasing your passion. You're just happy to get up out of bed each morning. Because I feel, Mihaela, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a lot of people, and I'm thankful every day that we're fortunate to follow our passions. But there's some people that can't break out free from that mold, and they get stuck in a lifestyle where they're not passionate about and they hate. So definitely it's a blessing to be on the opposite side of the spectrum doing something that I love. So that's the second one. And I think, Mihaela, a massive one for myself is just the ability to just be yourself. Because I think growing up through uni and obviously the workforce, you're forced to live within this mold. You have to have a certain personality. You have to wake up every day, come at this time, and be a certain person. So that created a lot of stress and anxiety for me when I was younger, working in the field. I just thought I was never good enough because I didn't fit within this mold. And it's not too recently that I found I wasn't meant to work within that mold. So definitely being able to kind of break free of that mold and just find who you are, find who you are pretty much, and just be free to express your opinions, be yourself, and that's what I define as success.
Yeah, wow, that's really powerful, especially the last one of being yourself. And like you said, I think a lot of individuals struggle, being like, okay, I have to do this to be successful because Bob, Joe, Jane, whatever is doing that. So I have to do that. And, understanding who you are as an individual, and like what you did back at school, you said, I'm good at this and I'm not good at this. That's knowing who you are. And some individuals don't know. So a benefit would be to know your weaknesses and to know your strengths, to know what success is, right?
Yeah, pretty much, Mihaela. Yeah, I think growing up, we're taught by the system. I'm not putting any hate on the system. I think we're pretty privileged here in Australia to have our education, all that kind of stuff. But it does force us sometimes to work on our negatives, where people can dwell on it, and it might cause them stress and anxiety, and just feel like they can't succeed in life just because we're wired in our brain to think this way. But as you said, if you're focusing on your positives, you're self-aware of yourself that these are my negatives, and just pursuing your strengths, essentially.
100%. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. That's absolutely amazing. And I love your definition of success. I think it's extraordinary, and it's definitely going to help the audience understand a bit more, and hopefully look at their success and see what does success mean to them. So let's get deep into it. Let's talk about what everyone's here for, what I'm here for to learn too. So let's talk about supplements. I mean, there is a sea of confusion these days with every single shop selling supplements. Everywhere you go, you can literally buy magnesium, vitamin C, that herb, this herb, anywhere. And they get a good name sometimes, but sometimes supplements also get a bad name, especially in the media lately. So what are your thoughts on the current supplements available out there? What are your thoughts?
Okay, so that's a good question, Mihaela. I can sit here for hours. Essentially, here in Australia, Mihaela, we're quite privileged that we have a good regulation system. That, as you know, the TGA, the Therapeutics Goods Administration, which kind of governs the products here in Australia that can be sold in stores. So they do have quality built into them and that kind of stuff. But I feel that quality is only one side of the spectrum, so I'll get into that a bit later down in the podcast. But second, Mihaela, people I think need to know, obviously you talked about the magnesium. There's like, as you know, there's about 8 different types of magnesium, which is the bioavailability of the product. So people need to know, obviously, quality, bioavailability, how it's going to work with their body. And I think just getting the right advice, Mihaela, because I think with the supplement industry, a lot of people buy because they hear it's a good supplement. Like their neighbor, for example, use this B complex and they've got an awesome results on it. And then someone thinks, oh, I'm low on energy, so I might buy that B complex as well. But what people don't know, and I hope I can educate them, myself and you, is that everyone's got their own biochemistry. Everyone's got their deficiencies. Everyone has different kind of diets and lifestyles and stress. So I think people need a more personalized approach to supplementation. They can't just be taking so many things that they see in the media, and that's when you get that backlash. Like people spend thousands of dollars on supplements, not knowing, just because they've heard it's good, it works, but it doesn't work on them. And that's what I think the supplement industry is kind of lacking now. Obviously, in the quality and education on a personalized approach. But definitely, that's what I think.
I think Tamim, personalized supplements is specific what you said, and like you said, your neighbor may get the big complex and it might work for them, and then the other person takes it and it might do quite the opposite because it's not individualized to them and they're unsure what they're taking in that sense. Because someone might get that big complex, let's say online, and the other one might get the big complex from a pharmacy, but the other person might get the big complex from a naturopath or nutritionist. So they're all three totally different big complexes, and it affects the individual in a different way. So how can the listeners make sure that they're purchasing a good supplement?
Yeah, that's an awesome question, Mihaela. So as you probably know, I've been in the manufacturing industry for about 2.5 years, and I've seen everything that they do, kind of the deceptive behaviors that happen, and they prey on people that essentially don't know much about supplements. So if a brand were to approach a manufacturer that doesn't know anything about quality, bioavailability, they might fall prey to a pretty excuse me for saying this, but a crappy quality product, and it might leak into the consumer market, and then the trouble happens. And I've seen it happen many times. So taking all this knowledge, Mihaela, and my passion, all that kind of stuff, I've written an ebook, I think, called The 6 Alarming Things You Need to Know Before Purchasing a Supplement. And it goes through pretty much everything a consumer needs to know. And I've made it quite clear and give an example, so hopefully a lot of people can learn. And I'm sure I've got a lot of good feedback from it. So the first one, Mihaela, obviously in your example of buying from in store, online. So especially online, this mostly applies to online, but you can use it in store, of course. So I think the first one obviously is the quality, which is what I try to drill into everyone's head and give examples. So quality, Mihaela, so is the product being tested? What you're paying for, is it actually what's in the capsule? You know what I mean? A lot of companies, especially the US, their regulations are not as strict as Australia. So people tend to buy from US. And you know what I mean? Like if you're buying magnesium, like how do you know if what you're buying is magnesium? It might be flour, it might be rice, and then you might be wasting your money, which is quite bad. So obviously first step is to know the quality of your product. And the best way to do that is request a certificate of analysis from the brand or whoever you're buying it from. So have you heard of certificate of analysis, Mihaela?
Yeah, I have. I definitely have. For the audience, what's the best way for them to get that?
Well, yeah, some brands, especially the ones I purchase from the US, if I do happen to buy from the US, they actually have their COAs ready to download. So before you purchase the product, you can download and have a look at if all the materials are in specifications, meaning that what they claim on the label is actually what they've tested for, and they've confirmed that it's in the label. So yeah, they can essentially download it from the website, or you can just get a contact email from the website and just ask them, hey guys, I'm about to purchase this zinc. Can you please provide all documentation? Has it been tested? And then a good sign is if they're very responsive and they're happy to do so. So for example, us Head Honcho, we encourage people to reach out to us so we can educate. But yeah, if a supplement brand does give you that and you read it and it looks good, and it's quite easy to read. It just says zinc. Is it approved? Is it yet in the blend? Yes or no? And it's quite easy. If you can't read it, then I'm happy to help you. But essentially, yeah, looking at the COA, and there's a big red flag, Mihaela, is if you do ask a brand and they don't respond to you, they give you like a kind of a vague answer, then you know it's a red flag straight away.
100%. I've had that happen to me. So I get that. I thought, this supplement looks amazing. It's so good. I was like, I'll get in touch with them. Found nothing on the website, got in touch with them. And then I just got back an email that was very vague, and it didn't give me the answer. And I was like, okay, you're definitely trying to hide something from me, because my question was very clear. It wasn't confusing at all. So yes, quality 100%.
Well, there you go. Yeah, and I think some brands do try to skimp on quality because obviously it's quite expensive to test high quality herbs and minerals and stuff. But I think it needs to be done. You know, what I mean, if you're mucking around with people's health and hard-earned money, then definitely that needs to be done.
100%. So quality is one. What's the next one, Tamim?
So I've just gone off the ebook, Mihaela. So second one is bioavailability. So once the product's been tested, obviously you've confirmed that. So second is to look at the bioavailability. So bioavailability, Mihaela, is defined as how efficient the body is at absorbing the compound you're taking. So my example of the magnesium. So there's essentially, I think, 7 to 8 magnesiums. So starting from magnesium oxide, which is pretty bad at getting absorbed by the body. It has, I think, the highest percentage of magnesium, but it doesn't get absorbed in the body because I think most people, they look on the back of the label and they're like, oh, wow, this has 300 milligrams of magnesium, not knowing that most of it's coming from oxide, which is not even absorbed properly in the body. So I think definitely, but it's kind of hard, this one, Mihaela. So it just takes a lot of time to get a hang of this. Like if you buy heaps of supplements on the regular.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, if the audience has any questions, I mean, they feel free to contact me, feel free to contact you. We're out
definitely
there to help out. So yes, we've got quality, bioavailability. What's the next one, Tamim?
Sure. And just about the bioavailability, just one more thing, sorry. Just research. Like I think a big one is research. Like obviously if you have two products, don't make the emotional impulse decision and buy it. Just go home and research like which one's more available. There's a lot of great companies out there that are educating customers, and you can read about it on YouTube and all that kind of stuff, and read some studies if you're keen. But that's another way to get over that hurdle. Next one, Mihaela, is GMP. So GMP stands for Goods Manufacturing Practice, which essentially means that the product usually has a symbol at the back. So if you look at all our products, there's a GMP stamp on it, which signifies to the customer that the product's been packed in an environment where it's temperature controlled, moisture controlled. There's no contamination in the air, and that ensures that there's an extra level of quality on top of your product. So there's no risk of getting sick or any contamination that might possibly come into the jar or capsule. So that's a third one.
And that's key, because if there's any contamination or if there's moisture in the air, mold production, all of these can cause actually harm. If you're taking these supplements that have been produced in an environment that's not made for the way, to made perfectly, you're going to get sick. So instead of taking a capsule that's making you healthy, you're actually taking a capsule that's making you sick. So that's a key one.
Yeah, definitely, Mihaela. And like I said, a person can test the product, they can make sure the product's bioavailable, but they might be packing it in their garage at home. So you definitely don't want to be purchasing a product that's been exposed to all those harmful microbes in the air and moisture. So that's another powerful one, and it's very easy to find. You just look at the back of the package, and it should say it should have a GMP stamp.
Beautiful, thank you for that. That's brilliant.
Yeah. If you want me, Mihaela, I can speak about a couple more, but I do encourage people to have a read of the ebook. But if we have time, Mihaela, I'll just talk about one more. Is it okay?
Yeah, let's go through two of them. Yeah, 100%. I mean, we want to educate the audience. That's the key of this podcast. And I mean, of course, they can look at the ebook themselves, go into more detail, but to hear it from you would be absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, cool. I'll talk about another couple ones, which is quite important to me. So I want to talk about dosages. So obviously, if you go through all those steps and you find out the product's high quality, so another one is dosages. So are they giving you the right therapeutic dose? So I think a lot of supplement companies, there's a lot of great ones out there, but there are some that give you an underdosed product, which means that the dosage of that specific compound is not enough to give you the therapeutic dose. So that's why you see a lot of people getting ripped off, all that kind of stuff, and not getting their true money's worth. So that just comes down to research, Mihaela. So obviously, if you want to get a good therapeutic dose of magnesium, then you just research, obviously, with your goal. If you're preventing muscle soreness or that anxiety, then you look at that dose of what you need and just go back to the store and just look for that, obviously, and keeping everything else in mind. So that's another powerful one.
That's a huge one that I see, because individuals will go, okay, I've got this magnesium, it was on sale, it's brilliant, can I have a look at it? And literally, to get what you need to get, you need to take half of that bottle, which is like 10 or so capsules, to get the same effect as one other capsule from another supplement. So you may be thinking, definitely, yes, you are getting magnesium, but like with some of them, you need to have like drink half of the bottle of supplements before you get any therapeutic effect, like you're talking about. Yes, it is on sale, but later on it's going to cost you a lot more, not only for your in your pocket, but also for your health. So that's a brilliant one. Yeah,
definitely. And just on that, Mihaela, that's just the fundamentals. So obviously, if you're buying single compound supplements, then that's a good thing to look at. But it gets a bit complex when you start mucking around with like multiple compounds and multiple herbs, which are claimed that work synergistically with one another. So that might be something that you might want to talk to a health professional such as yourself, as if someone's not 100% know what they're buying. So example of Fusion Healthcare, they're quite good. They're underdosed, but their herbs do work very synergistically. They have a lot of research, so there is exceptions to this rule. But as I said, it comes down to research and reaching out to health professionals such as yourself.
100%. Yeah. And then, like myself, I help them out to understand what each thing does. So yeah, synergistically is definitely a thing. 100%.
Cool. Yeah, definitely, Mihaela. And the last one I want to talk about is standardized herbs. So this is a one that's kind of debated. It's kind of controversial on what's the best type of herb, but personally, from my research and working with it in the field, if people do buy herbs, Mihaela, and I know you love your herbs as much as I do. So standardized herbs. If you are buying herbs such as, like, of course, the ashwagandha, the rhodiola, ginseng, any type of mushroom, it's to buy the standardized herb, which means that the herb has been extracted in a certain way to give you a certain bioactive within the herb that's great for the therapeutic effect that you want. So, for example, our rhodiola, a lot of studies show that the rosavins and salidrosides within that herb are what give you the benefits, right? So if you're buying a rhodiola that is not standardized to rosavins and salidrosides, then essentially you'll be wasting your money because you're not getting the bioactive component. So I think, Mihaela, definitely a thing that no one knows is look for that standardized. You can just simply look at the back of a label, and if it does have a herb, it should have in brackets what it's standardized to, and then it's up to you to research and is that amount enough for what you're trying to use it for. So that's another strong one that I truly believe in.
Yeah, and that's a huge one that not a lot of people talk about, because, definitely, the herb world is complex. It is so complex. One herb contains so many active ingredients and so many, synergistic ingredients that make the herb do what it's supposed to do. But then, it depends what effect you want to have or what is it going to do. But I think what you mentioned there is absolutely brilliant. And I mean, that ebook, I've had a look at it. It talks about so many things in detail. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And we'll talk about it later on, how people will be able to access that. I think it's just, I think what's going to happen now is people are going to be looking at their supplements and being like, oh, where's that stamp? Oh, where's the standardization? How much does this have? And then be a bit more educated. And that's what we want. We want to educate individuals to ensure that they're getting the most out of what they're buying. I don't want them going out and buying a supplement and wasting time and money and their health, putting their health at risk. When they can get a really good supplement and know and know how to buy it themselves, which is the key of this podcast, which is what I love, because after listening to this, they will know how to look for a good supplement. Essentially that's why we're here, Mihaela, to educate people. I think it's not what people want to hear. Like it requires more work, of course, but if you're getting a high quality and you're getting a high quality product and it's fulfilling what you need, and then definitely it takes time. And I work in a supplement store as well, Mihaela, and I tell people when they get a slap on the face, like, oh, I didn't know that. But it needs to be said. You know what I mean? It needs to be said. 100%. Look, I think that's
Yeah.
great. So, with all this information, is there a website or like a resource page when someone can go in and just type in a supplement and then get information, or do we have to do our own research for now?
Yeah, well, at the current point, Mihaela, I don't know of any website that has all that breakdown. I do know there's a TGA website which just gives you the ingredients. I can probably give that link to you, Mihaela, and educate your customers. So essentially, what you do, it's a TGA government-based website. You just type in the ingredient, and it comes up with the approved material for people to use in their supplement. To give you the therapeutic dosage, the therapeutic response or the effect. So I'll definitely link that below. All you have to do is just type in what you're going to purchase, and it'll come up with what's acceptable in the Australian market. But there is obviously loopholes with that, and it's not 100% reliable because the TGA doesn't. It's only got a very small pool of compounds. But obviously, we know that buying from the US, there's much more compounds than just several hundred. There's several thousand. But yeah, I think definitely that'll be a good starting point. I'll link you my ebook, and I also have a bioavailability guide that people can check out, which is will give you a lot of value. But essentially, Mihaela, just comes down to doing your own research, and there's a lot of websites out there, especially like the scientific articles, and there's also some websites that break down the scientific articles as well. So yeah, I definitely think nothing beats your own personal research.
100%. And look, if you're an individual who doesn't like to do research, I always say if there's something that you don't like doing, pay someone to do it. That's what other people are there for. If you don't understand the supplement stuff, it's too much for you, get in touch with a health practitioner or someone who knows this information and is able to break it down for you. But I mean, definitely what we've provided today is definitely a starting point, 100%, to give them the information to look at a supplement and kind of get the feeling and go, okay, so this is what they were talking about. Oh, it's this, it's that. So I think that's great. So I know you've mentioned so many things, but is there a secret to ensuring that you're taking the best quality supplements? What's the secret?
Well, pretty much, Mihaela, just as I said, what I said before, that's essentially the fundamentals of what you need to know. Is it being tested? How it interacts with your body? Is it high quality? And is the dosage right for the benefits you're taking? I think that's pretty much the best things to go off. Like even myself, when I use a supplement, I ask for the COA. I look at the compounds that I use in the delivery system. Like, is there a delivery system within the supplement that's going to help your body absorb it much more? Like, as you see, some supplements have fats added towards it, like MCTs, to help with absorption. So I think those are the fundamentals. Like, I wouldn't add anything else. But it's like any skill, it does take months or years to kind of perfect it. And the more supplements you buy and the more time you research, then you'll just be an expert. That's what I believe.
100%. And you can't just go, oh, magnesium's good for this, I'm just going to take it. You need to do your research. Please do your research so you actually get what you're paying for and you understand and your body reacts the way it's supposed to be, because our body is so complex. So our body is complex. The supplements are complex. So you put two complex things together, it's just extraordinary. There's so much information there. Well, I think, I think this has been absolutely great. I mean, I've learned a lot myself. So to wrap it up, I always ask individuals, what is your best kept natural health hack?
Oh, I got a couple.
Let's go.
Well, I don't know if this is a health hack, Mihaela, but I believe in affirmations. So what I do every day, I think it's a big hack, and it affects my mental state, and obviously that gets translated into my physical state as well. So just waking up every day and being thankful for just the small things in life. It's not something that a lot of people use, but it's so powerful. It's free. It's also free, and it can yield a massive result. That's one of my big ones. I actually did it this morning when I was grounding in the sun. I just said a few things I'm grateful for, and I'm very positive. And it makes it changes my whole mental state. So did you say one, Mihaela, or can I speak about multiple?
You can mention as many as you wish if you want to share it with the audience.
Yeah, I do. The second one I want to talk about, definitely I want to share as much value as I can. Cold showers. So I use cold showers religiously. I I maybe do it twice a day. In the morning, I just had one, but my family don't like it too much because I do tend to scream in the shower. It's quite it's quite confronting. But yeah, it's yeah. Do you do cold showers, Mihaela? I'm sure you've heard of them, right?
Yeah, 100%. But the thing is, I used to do them when I used to go to the sauna. So I'll do sauna, cold shower, sauna, cold shower. But they're all closed now, so I'm waiting for it to come back. And I haven't. Yeah. And it's been so cold here that I've been like, I have to do my cold shower, and I'm like, oh, it's too late. The warm is on. But I definitely have to get back into it 100%. I have to be accountable for it.
yeah, definitely. No, it's an awesome hack. It's quite hard. I just chuck on the cold shower and just jump in for maybe a minute. It's good for anti-inflammation. Obviously, it brings down your inflammation. I think there's some studies on that, and it just builds up a strong mindset. So being able to control your brain, even if it doesn't want to do something, you're pushing it past its point. So yeah, definitely it gets translated into everything that you do, your work, your discipline, your fitness. So that's another one. It's for free as well. Obviously, the water, you have to pay for the water, but it's essentially free. Yeah.
That's brilliant.
And just probably the last one is a smart smoothie. So I drink a smart smoothie every day, Mihaela. So it's just jam packed of good quality supplements that I've personalized and refined throughout the years. So this is a secret. This is pretty much a secret.
It's
but yeah. I don't want to explain, but yeah, I'm happy to give some value. But yeah, so what I start with every day, Mihaela, is this, after I've trained and all that kind of stuff, I have a smoothie of almond milk, vegan protein, which is from peas, and I chuck in some my friend Vincent. He has a activated phenolics powder, which is awesome for anti-inflammation, all that kind of stuff. So I do add a scoop of that, some fresh berries, and some adaptogens. That help me with stress, anxiety, all that kind of stuff. Which is a good one is rhodiola or even ashwagandha. And what else do I add in it? So obviously some good quality fats in there from either peanut butter, MCT oil. I add a lot of stuff in it. What's something else I add in? Skipped my mind, but essentially mix all those things in the morning and just have it, and it's awesome. It lasts me for 3 hours. It's jam packed of nutrients, antioxidants, brain nutrients, and it's really good for pretty much all aspects of health. So that's my 3 hacks, man.
Wow, you've given us 3. You're wanting to share today. You're like, I'm going to give you it all, especially with your smoothie. That's brilliant. I love it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Well, that's what we're here to do. Right?
That's it.
Hopefully people can use it. Yeah.
100%. So look, we have come to the end of this magical podcast into Tamim. So Tamim, for the listeners who mentioned this podcast, what will they receive from you?
Well, as I said, Mihaela, you guys can follow me on Instagram, but definitely I'll put the link here for my free ebook. You guys can download it and let me know how you guys find it, and if you want any help or need me to explain anything, I'm happy to do so. And if you guys reach out and you're interested in our products, then I'm happy to give a 10% discount, and we can work. Obviously, if the product's well suited for you, then definitely I recommend it. But yeah, essentially, I really want you guys to read the ebook and let me know what you guys think, and obviously share it around, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that you might know that use supplements, and if you care about them, then why not share the information around? So that's my
brilliant
goal.
So they're gonna get the ebook, which is absolutely amazing. I had a look at it and it's free. I'll hook up the link underneath, and then also a 10% off discount of your products, which products do you have out at the moment?
So currently, Mihaela, I'm trying to focus on only 2. That's how you maintain quality. So obviously you got the rhodiola, which is a very high quality extract from Siberia. So it's definitely good for balancing cortisol, anti-fatigue, which is awesome. I use that alternatively with ashwagandha, another great herb. And I also have shilajit plus CoQ10, obviously very high quality shilajit. A lot of studies behind it, fully tested, and awesome for a range of benefits, such as obviously hormones, testosterone, anti-inflammation, memory. A lot of studies backing that up. So
That's brilliant. And we did, if anyone wants to know a bit more about rhodiola, we did a podcast where we spoke about the benefits about rhodiola. I got interviewed by Tamim, and we went into detail about the benefits of adaptogens in your life. But that's a different podcast that I'll also link. I'll link that. So I'll link the ebook, the podcast that we did, the 10% off code, which is absolutely brilliant. So where will the audience be able to find you?
So as I said before, Instagram is probably my go-to. You can DM me there, and I have a lot of cool photos and content that I share pretty daily and all that kind of stuff. So at Head Honcho Supplements, all one word, spelled HEADHONCHO, and then supplements. And you can reach out to me there, DM, whatever. I'm happy. And I also give Mihaela my email, which I'm very responsive to, and I'm happy to help with whatever you guys have, even if it's not about our supplements. If you have any questions about whatever magnesium that you take in protein powder, creatine, I'm happy to help with you navigate this maze of supplements.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Tamim, for this amazing interview. Thank you.
No, thank you, Matt. Thanks for bringing me on and giving me the chance to share my knowledge with your audience. And hopefully, you guys, you've got a lot of value. And until next time.
Beautiful. Well, hopefully after this episode, you'll be able to find out what the best supplement is for you and how to ensure that you're getting the best quality supplement. Well, thank you for joining us at the Natural Health Podcast. And remember, the missing link between failure and success is your health.